Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the summary of our week 1 of our subject Basic Entrepreneurship for Engineers. In today's video we will discuss the summary of what we are taught in the first week of this subject. First of all, we were taught that the subject is going to be based on experimental learning. It means we will learn more doing experiments and doing the tasks we are provided with rather than only simply studying theoretical knowledge. Next thing, which is the definition of innovation. The innovation can be said as any kind of invention when a value is added in any invention, then it is termed as to be innovation. It means if a value is added such that it can solve the problem of a different people, then the same invention can be termed as an innovation. The next point is problem worth solving. I have written the key points in this page, and one by one I will be discussing all those points. Okay. So the third point is problem worth solving. There are many problems which we need to identify whether they are worth solving or not. Sometimes it happens that people try to solve the problem, but at the end they understand that the problem they are trying to solve is not worth solving. So the very first step is we have to identify which are the problems which are worth solving and which are the problems which are unworthily solving. So for identifying this thing, we will see a term called design thinking, which contains 5 points, which will help us to know whether the problems are worth solving or not. For design thinking, let's see this image. Okay, this image shows about design thinking. Design thinking contains 5 points. Those points are empathize, define, ideate, prototype, test. Okay, so the very first step in design thinking is empathize. And this point is tells us that whichever problem we are trying to deal with, for very firstly, the very first part is to live in that problem for some time, for a week or 2 week, and so on, so that the problem can be well and deeply understood by ourselves. And once we understand that problem, we have to define the solution. What we can we after knowing the problem, we come up with numerous solution which we put in the word in this column, in this word define. After defining the solution, we have to the next process ideate. We have to brainstorm that potential solution and select the best possible solution. After doing the brainstorming, we have to think in all the aspect whether the solution will be helpful for the people to solve their problem or not, and every other thing which is associated with that problem. And after doing this, once the solution is identified, then we have to go for the prototype step. Prototype step is nothing but we have to calculate such a model or such a working design which can which we say as a prototype, and we test our solution in this prototype model. And once this prototype model is successfully tested, find in the final stage, we test our solution in the real market. We test our solution in the real market whether our solution is productive or not. And all these things together is known as design thinking. Design thinking is the only is very important task which can help us to know whether the problem is worth solving or not. After doing all these things, by the conclusion, we actually can solve some good problems which are worth solving. Okay, so after design thinking, the next thing we saw was fixed versus growth mindset. Okay, there are two. For this, I will show you an image. See, there are two kind of people in the society with two different kind of mindset. One is growth mindset and other is a fixed mindset. So these are nothing but the mindset only. And let's see what these two different mindset of people think about themselves. Let's see first about the growth mindset. The growth mindset people see every failure as an opportunity to grow. It means, in short words, growth minded people can be said as an open-minded people who are willing to learn or accept new challenges and grow in their life. Whereas fixed-minded people are said to be those who are with very fixed and limited thoughts and are only able to do things which are on their limits and do not try to accept any new challenge or task. Let's see. A growth mindset people see failure as an opportunity to grow. They think that they can learn anything they want to do, and they consider challenges as favorable as they think they help them to grow, and they think that their effort and attitude determines their abilities, and feedback is constructive, and they try to do new things as well. Whereas on the other hand, fixed minded people think that the failure is the limit of their abilities. They either think that they are not good at it something, and they think like their abilities do not gonna change and they have to do some fixed things. They do not like challenge. They give up easily. They feel frustrated when tasks do not go on their side. They stick to what they only know. So these are some of the differences between growth minded and fixed minded people. In this thing, we saw one more important thing is the power of yet and not yet. One of the research is shown that instead of writing fail in a report card of a student, the fail word was replaced by word not yet, which determined that which showed that the student is still on their learning curve and their abilities to grow is not limited. And if and the replacement of this word fail from not yet from fail also improved the confidence, perseverance, and endurance of a child as well. Okay. After this, the next thing we saw was the table of area of interest. Let me show you table of area of interest. This thing was given by some Hungarian psychologist, which basically tried to tell us the flow state of a person. When a person is interested in something and completely focuses on it, then he or she achieves a flow state. Okay, and to identify whether the task is interesting for somebody or not, he gave like some activity kind of thing. He made a table in which a person has to write his 4 to 5 field of interest, and he have to fill all these boxes with yes, either yes or no. So the boxes contain like you lose track of time while doing this, whether you have requisite skills to do that, to follow your interest, whether you take the initiative in the region of area of interest, whether you grab your every opportunity in the area to improve your skill, whether even if the activity is challenging, you enjoy taking up the challenges. So the gist of this table is the area of interest which end up with most of yes is, you can consider it is the your area of interest. Okay, in which you love the most and you are more likely to achieve flow state in that. And this task have to be completed in 50 minutes. Okay, this activity. So this was the table of area of interest. Next thing is we seen about lean canvas. Let's see what is lean canvas by the help of this image. Lean canvas is nothing but a business model canvas which give us a brief brief idea about what are the problems and its solutions and every other thing regarding that. Let's see it. The first box contains the problem. We have to first write down the problem which we are trying to solve, and what are the means major key points related to that problem. The other is solution. what we have what we have thought as a progressive or a good solution should be noted down here. The next is key matrices. This basically deals with the number, whether our idea or solution is growing day by day, or coming down day by day, like tickets created per day, tickets updated per day. Now means more how much the your solution is getting sold in the market or not. Next is unique value proposition. It tells us what is the difference, what is the uniqueness in your idea as compared to the others who are trying to solve the same problem with their own solution. Next is unfair advantage. Unfair advantage, by the word it can be clear that they obviously between two people, somebody having much advantage and other. For example, one with a heavy one with heavy amount of money can be can be can feel much advantage as compared to one with less amount of money. Next is channels. Channels basically tells us what are the ways in which we are going to advertise or publicity. You do publicity of your idea or solution. Next comes with the customer segment. Customer segment basically tells us that what are the who are your target customers who will be benefited from your solution or your ideas, and these are the cost structures and revenue streams. So this is all about the lean canvas. The next thing is we learned was tame versus wicked problems. Let's see with the help of this diagram. Tame versus wicked problems. So tame problems are those problems which are easy to identify and whose solutions are readily available. Means you have a problem and you have readily found its solution. Next is wicked problem. Wicked problem are those problems which are difficult to identify. Firstly, the problem is itself difficult to identify, and then its solution is also difficult to identify. And even if the solution is founded, some other problems can be concluded from this solution, whose whose solution is further needed to be solved. So this tells us problem, a solution was found, but from that solution other problems were raised, and then other solutions were found. Or tame problems are generally easier to solve and easier to recognize, whereas wicked problems firstly difficult to recognize and then difficult to solve as well. These were about the tame and wicked problems. And the last thing we saw in this week classes were different types of reasoning. There are three types of reasoning: inductive reasoning, deductive reasoning, and abductive reasoning. Okay, so let's see with the help of this with this table. First of all, let's see deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning is basically, in short words, it is the process of reasoning that starts from general statement to reach a logical conclusion. Whereas in inductive reasoning, it is a process of reasoning specific moves. It is the process of reasoning that moves from specific observation to broader generalization. Okay, and the third one was abductive reasoning. Abductive reasonings are the reasoning which are nothing but get finding solutions from the limited amount of knowledge or limited amount of resources you have. This is known as abductive reasoning. So this is the summary of our week 1 of our basic entrepreneurship classes, and uh, we'll see you in the next week with another summary video. Till then, thank you.